and good to have you with us in this edition of the Urban Debate. We continue with the spotlight on Uttar Pradesh, the story that began with a brutal assault and death of a 19-year-old girl in Hathras. The story that then became about allegations of gang rape. The story that then became about a midnight cremation without the family, and then claims and counterclaims between the UP police, the administration and the family of the victim. Tonight, the UP government and the police want the story to be about a bigger conspiracy, a alleged conspiracy that is being hashed in various parts of the country, funded from somebody sitting abroad with fake news, fake social media handles, and a planned conspiracy to incite violence, to incite riot, and to divide the communities based on caste. And all of this is in reference to the Hathras case. Yesterday I said it, I will say it again tonight, viewers. Irrespective of any other crucial angle that the UP police wants to look at, and they should, by all means, I will continue to urge the police, the government, and now the courts who are also looking into this matter, that the crime that happened should not be forgotten. The crime that a 19-year-old girl is dead. The crime that a 19-year-old was brutally assaulted. She was so badly injured that within 2 weeks she succumbed to her injuries and nobody could save her, could help her. The crime that she wasn't even given a proper funeral. Her body simply set ablaze in the middle of the night without her immediate family, her mother, father being around. These are the key issues in this case. Lest we forget, I will continue to remind. Now, let me tell you what has become the center of attention today. The UP police has filed 22 different FIRs. This is a statewide crackdown that the Chief Minister says is part of a larger conspiracy against his government. About 9 people have been arrested, many more booked. The charges include sedition, international funding and conspiracy, rioting, inciting violence between two communities, putting fake media posts related to the Hathras case. The FIRs have been filed in Hathras district, in Lucknow, Bijnor, Saharanpur, Bulandshahr, Ayodhya and Prayagraj. So it's a statewide crackdown that the UP government is doing because they say it's a conspiracy against the Yogi government. They say there is an attempt to incite caste and religious riots, and this is a conspiracy by people who do not like development, essentially those who oppose Yogi Adityanath. Tonight I ask a very simple question. Can the and does the UP police show the same alacrity when it comes to cases of crimes against women? Does the UP police show the same initiative and speed of investigation? Will the UP police show the same zeal when it comes to women's safety? And over the next 1 hour, I will give you examples of how cases in UP, where it has been about an allegation of a rape, have taken 40 days, 50 days, 100 days, even for the basic FIR to be filed. Here, before we've even moved ahead an inch on the original crime, the crackdown and the noise and the narrative has become about something else. Can all cases of crime be treated with the same alacrity? A very simple question. The answer, I hope, is simple as well. Let's say good evening to Sameer Singh, spokesperson for Uttar Pradesh BJP. Kurubam Manuswamy, advocate with the Supreme Court of India. Saira Shah Halim, social activist. Miran Borwankar, former commissioner of police. And Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, also joining us right now. So Sameer Singh, let's start with you. Does the UP police show the same zeal? I don't think so, but maybe you can give me examples. of how similar speed has been used for fighting crime against women. मिस्टर समीर सिंह, आपको मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी, हेलो, आवाज मिल रही मेरी? हेलो हेलो,
यस
मेरी
मिस्टर समीर
आवाज
सिंह,
मिल
कैन यू हियर मी?
रही आवाज? हेलो,
मिस्टर समीर सिंह, आपकी आवाज आ रही है। मेरा सवाल आपसे बहुत सीधा है। आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि क्या यूपी पुलिस यही स्पीड से जो क्राइम्स अगेंस्ट विमेन होते हैं उनको भी सॉल्व करेगी जितनी स्पीड से ये 22 एफआईआर फाइल हुए हैं?
देखिए, बिल्कुल हुई है। आप देखें, 2017 में उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर बीजेपी की सरकार बनी थी। आदरणीय योगी जी उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री बने थे और उन्होंने कहा था उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर जीरो टॉलरेंस होगा, अपराध पर भी होगा, महिला अपराध पर भी होगा, भ्रष्टाचार पर भी होगा। हमने उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट बनाए हैं और पिछले दिनों की घटनाओं पर बड़ी सख्ती से आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के निर्देश पर कार्रवाइयां हुई हैं। औरैया के अंदर एक रेप के केस में 30 डेज में सुनवाई करके फास्ट ट्रैक कोर्ट ने दोषियों को सजा सुनाई है। और आप उस घटना को भी, जिस घटना की जिक्र कर रहे हैं, उसमें भी 14 तारीख की केस थी। 14 तारीख को एफआईआर दर्ज हुआ था और जिस प्रकार से पीड़िता ने बयान दिया उसी प्रकार से धाराओं को बढ़ाया गया और गिरफ्तारियां हुई। जो भी अक्यूज्ड थे उनकी गिरफ्तारियां हुई, वो जेल गए और पुलिस तत्परता से कार्रवाई कर रही है। आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने घटना का संज्ञान लेके एसआईटी जांच की बात कही थी और एसआईटी जांच 30 तारीख को उन्होंने 29 को आदेश किया था। 30 से एसआईटी जांच चल रही थी। प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट पर 8 पुलिस वालों के 7 पुलिस वालों के खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई हुई, सस्पेंशन की कार्रवाई हुई। एसआईटी जांच की रिपोर्ट आएगी, उसके आधार पर आगे भी कार्रवाई होगी और आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने मामले को सीबीआई को हैंडओवर किया है। और आज फिर सरकार ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में अपने पक्ष को रखा और कहा है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट की निगरानी में भी सीबीआई की जांच हो, हमें कोई आपत्ति नहीं है। जो भी जांच हो, न्याय मिलना चाहिए। हम न्याय के साथ खड़े हैं। हम उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर हर बेटी के साथ खड़े हैं। हम कास्ट के आधार पर और दलित की बेटी, फॉरवर्ड्स की बेटी, ब्राह्मण्स की बेटी, ठाकुर्स की बेटी, इसके आधार पर गणना नहीं की जानी चाहिए। बेटी बेटी है। किसी के भी साथ ऐसी घटना होती है तो निश्चित रूप से उस पर कार्रवाई होगी और हमारी सरकार ने किया है। कहीं भी एक भी
मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आया, मुझे ये नहीं समझ आया समीर सिंह। मैं आपको बहुत सारे उदाहरण दूंगी, आप पेशेंस रखिए, धैर्य रखिए थोड़ा, मैं बहुत आपको उदाहरण दूंगी। लेकिन पहले मैं आपसे ये पूछ लूं, क्योंकि आपने ये बात उठाई, जो एक्शन लिया है 7 पुलिसकर्मी के अगेंस्ट, ये क्यों लिया है? यूपी सरकार और पुलिस का जो एफिडेविट आज दिया है उसको कोई पढ़ेगा तो लगेगा कुछ गलत किया ही नहीं, सब कुछ बड़े समय पे किया, सब कुछ फैमिली के बोलने पे किया। रेप का एलिगेशन जैसे ही उन्होंने लगाया, आपने एफआईआर कर दी, आपने गैंग रेप का चार्ज लगा दिया, एससी एसटी का सेक्शंस यूज़ कर लिए, मुजरिमों को, अक्यूज़ को पकड़ भी लिया, फैमिली के सामने आपने उनका क्रिमेशन भी कर दिया, आपने लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को भी संभाल के रखा, इसीलिए लोगों को जेल में पकड़ के भी डाल दिया, डिटेंशन कर दिया, मीडिया को ब्लॉक कर दिया। सब तो सही किया, ये 7 पुलिसकर्मी फिर सस्पेंड क्यों हुए?
आप पूरे घटना को देखिए। 14 तारीख की घटना है। 14 तारीख को एक्यूज और एक्यूज का भाई दोनों थाने में गए और उन्होंने प्रार्थना पत्र दिया कि हमारे साथ मारपीट हुई, गला दबाया गया। लड़की का बयान है, उसके माँ का बयान है। आप कहो तो हम आपको वीडियो भी दिखा सकते हैं। उसके आधार पर 307 और एससी एसटी दर्ज हुई। उसकी तबीयत खराब हुई, उसको हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट किया गया। उसको वहां से हाथरस से अलीगढ़ मेडिकल कॉलेज, एएमयू मेडिकल कॉलेज में रेफर किया गया। वहां 19 तारीख को कुछ लीडर्स उससे मिले, उसके परिवार से, और उन लोगों ने कहा कि आप छेड़खानी। उसके आधार पर उसके परिवार ने कहा कि साहब इन लोगों ने छेड़खानी की भी कोशिश की। किस तारीख? उसके आधार पर सीओ की जांच
नहीं, आप मेरे को हिस्ट्री मत बताइए। यूपी गवर्नमेंट और यूपी पुलिस से ज्यादा अच्छे से मुझे इस केस की हिस्ट्री मालूम है। जब से आपके इस केस को टेंशन देने के पहले से हम इसको ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए कि अगर सब कुछ सही किया तो 7 पुलिसकर्मी को सस्पेंड किस लिए किया है?
एसआईटी की फर्स्ट इंफॉर्मेशन में रिपोर्ट में थी कि कहीं ना कहीं लोकल पुलिस ने जितनी तत्परता से इस कार्रवाई को करनी चाहिए थी उतनी तत्परता से या उसकी जिस हिसाब से मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट मिलना चाहिए थे उस हिसाब से मेडिकल ट्रीटमेंट नहीं मिला। कहीं ना कहीं एसआईटी की प्रारंभिक रिपोर्ट में पुलिस के खिलाफ कार्रवाई हुई, ये सरकार का विषय था। सरकार ने आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट में भी अपने विषय को रखा है।
ये तो आपने कोर्ट को बताया नहीं।
पहले दिन से सरकार
कि
ने
हमारी पुलिस से कहीं ना कहीं कोई चूक हुई, ये तो आपने पुलिस को बताया ही नहीं, कोर्ट को बताया नहीं।
एसआईटी की जांच अभी चल रही है, 7 दिन के अंदर रिपोर्ट देनी थी। 29 तारीख को एसआईटी की जांच के लिए माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने कहा था। पूरी रिपोर्ट एसआईटी की आ रही है, केस सीबीआई को हैंडओवर है। आप चिंता मत करिए, निश्चिंत रहिए। मैं आपके साथ साथ उत्तर प्रदेश और देश को भी निश्चिंत करना चाहता हूं कि जिस स्टेट के मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय योगी आदित्यनाथ जी हैं, यहाँ किसी को भी कानून हाथ में लेने का अधिकार नहीं है। यहाँ लड़की के साथ न्याय होगा, यहाँ हर लड़की के साथ न्याय होता है। हर बहन हमारी बहन है, कोई जाति
बोलने से नहीं होता। मुझे आपके आश्वासनों पे कोई भरोसा नहीं है, मुझे एक्शन देखना है। मैं एग्जांपल देती हूँ एज आई गो टू आवर अदर पैनलिस्ट। वन एग्जाम्पल अभी का ही ले लेते हैं। मैं ज्यादा हिस्ट्री में भी जाने में बिलीव नहीं करती हूँ, अभी की बात करती हूँ। 1 मिनट समीर सिंह जी, अगस्त 2020 का ये केस है। एक मिनट आप सुन लीजिए मेरी बात, मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल्स दूंगी। ये मई 2017 का केस है, अलीगढ़ का ही। विमेन जो द वुमन alleged rape by her husband's friend. Cops turned around and commented on the survivor's beauty. It took them 181 days to file the FIR. 181 days. When a woman went to the police and alleged rape, 181 days to file the FIR. March 2017, a woman alleged a man from a neighborhood had raped her. The police first tried pushing the survivor to marry this man. वो रेप हो गया, चलो शादी कर लो. The FIR was filed 111 days after this complaint was first raised. I'll give you a more recent incident from last year in Lucknow. A woman alleged that she was raped in a farm. The cops turned around and said, तुम गरीब हो, तुम्हें पैसे चाहिए, तुम झूठा केस फाइल कर रही हो, and she was asked to go home. In 2017, again in December, a woman claimed she was raped by a brother-in-law in Lucknow. The cops said, you are only making this complaint for money. पैसा चाहिए तुम्हें, इसलिए आ गई यहाँ complaint करने. 117 days later, an FIR was filed. The same UP police, Mr. Miran Borvankar, the same police, in less than a week of the massive outrage in this country, has now filed 22 FIRs, arrested 9 people, although not even one person was actually killed in any kind of violence. Is this fair play? Are we giving same kind of attention to all crimes, Mr. Borvankar?
Listen, I've been listening to the cases which you have quoted where police did not register the case. And what you're trying to ask is that if police is so prompt in registering cases for conspiracy against the government and against the protesters, then why they are not so prompt in handling offenses against women? Now, this is all over the country. Women come to police station with a serious handicap. So UP may be very bad, worse than other states, but in any other state, a woman walking in for registration of a case, it's not immediately registered. In fact, citizens per se, irrespective of the gender, also have some issue in getting their cases registered. We have studied it and we have tried our level best to improve the situation. Crime against women also may not be getting registered immediately because the ratio of women is also very poor in the department. We have about 9% of women, and the rest of the 90% of male force, which dominates the department, is yet not fully gender sensitized. So I would like to say that registration of an FIR is an issue in the whole country. UP seems to be much worse, and women all over the country find it difficult to get their cases registered. One of the way outs is to have many more women in the department and to sensitize the male counterparts in the police to register and to accept the gravity of offense being reported by women. Register it first, even if ultimately you conclude it was a false case. But registration should be immediate, prompt, and investigation should be totally professional.
Yes, absolutely. Miran Burwankar, you are correct that this is a larger problem. I wouldn't limit it to Uttar Pradesh at all. But tonight we talk about Uttar Pradesh because the speed with which they have managed to otherwise carry out a statewide crackdown on a larger conspiracy which is against the government. Then what do I deduct from this? Kiruba Munuswamy, what do I deduct from this? That when they feel the attack is on the chief minister or on the government, they respond quickly. When it's about an Aam Aadmi and especially a woman, they take their own time, if at all they act.
So this is what BJP does most of the time, and when it comes to sexual violences in the state of UP, it is very clear that the state is not concerned about women's safety in the of course, like Miran Burankar was saying, it is a global issue, sexual violence against women, and it is also a state Indian issue. But still, the number of cases against sexual violences are very high in Uttar Pradesh, and we cannot forget the fact that Uttar Pradesh is very known for well known for this caste panchayats. So why the state is allowing these caste panchayats to operate, and these caste panchayats does not only order honor killing or does not only interfere in marriage and other marital relationships, but they also order gang rapes of women if they violate the so-called social norm. So we should not forget there is a history in the Uttar Pradesh where 2 Dalit women were ordered by these caste panchayats to be gang raped, paraded naked, and with their faces blackened, and the Amnesty International had to take it to the Supreme Court, and only then the girls were saved. So every time, should we expect an Amnesty International to take an international campaign to save every single girl in the state? So the government clearly knows that these caste panchayats are nothing but powerful elements that they have all influence and networks in the government. And if the government is truly concerned about women's safety, they not only take immediate action, but they also take necessary action to curtail and stop these caste panchayats. And in fact, the Supreme Court has declared them Gangaru panchayats, right? And what happened in Hathras case? Even in the case of Hathras, 144 is implemented on the victim's family and in the Dalit neighborhood, but the Thakur men were able to gather in hundreds and 500s, and they all demand justice for rapists. The government, which is able to file case against that many activists and Congress workers, is not ready to file any case against these Thakur men who went near the victim's family. So whose law is for? So there was a meme coming out like the rule of law has ended in the UP border. I could see that is what happening in reality as well. There is no rule of law in the state. There is no protection for women. There is no protection for Dalits. And if at all there is an international, the state is alleging international conspiracy. But I'm telling you now, if at all there is a conspiracy, it is Brahmin Thakur conspiracy. It is masculine conspiracy. It is caste masculine hegemony conspiracy. They are trying to oppress women. They are trying to oppress Dalits in the state of UP, and the place has already become a torture hub for Muslims. They have already done whatever they could do with Muslims, and now they have come to women and Dalits or what? This is purely Brahmin.
So let's talk about specifics here. Let's talk about specifics here, Kiruba. And I want to actually talk, specifically about the affidavit. Now, I have always made my arguments basis the facts even on this case. The UP government has filed an over 130-page affidavit in the Supreme Court, but largely it's about 16-17 pages which are operative, and then the annexures start, 16 pages which are there. I have gone through these 16 pages, and in these 16 pages, Saira Shah Halim, as they defend their action from start to end, there is not a single word about the investigation in this case. Not a single word. There are exhaustive paragraphs on the so-called conspiracy that is under investigation now with these FIRs, and conspiracy with international funds, foreign hand to incite violence and riots. Not a single word on what they have found, on who attacked and killed this 19-year-old. What do we make out of that then?
See, it is very clear the UP government is trying to shield the rapists. The very fact that they're trying to intimidate the people, the journalists, the scribes, whoever is trying to cover this incident, they're trying to, create an atmosphere of fear. They're trying to create an atmosphere of intimidation. So it is very clear that the UP government is not serious in taking care of their betis, the girls of Uttar Pradesh, because it's been a pattern. If you look at Unnao case, if you look at Mr. Kuldeep Sengar and so many other cases right down to Hathras, it is very clear that the UP government is not at all serious about the matter of safety and security of women. And the fact that they are in such a hurry to file FIRs against opposition leaders, against scribes, just to intimidate them, just to stifle their voices, so that the absolutely macabre incident does not come out in public, the entire details. They are trying to perpetuate, the whole system of kangaroo courts, car panchayat, mobocracy. I think it's very, very retrograde, and I think something really needs to be done. Mr. Yogi Adityanath needs to take cognizance of what's happening in the state. If he's unable to protect the daughters of Uttar Pradesh, he should resign. I feel if he's not, if he's just going to hide and go underground and float these conspiracy theories, then I think he's not fit to serve anymore.
Yes, and before I go across to Gautam Mukherjee, let me actually get Sameer Singh to respond to this. Sameer Singh जी, इसमें ये जो 17 पेज की डिटेल्स हैं एफिडेविट में, इसमें आपने एग्जाम्पल्स भी दिए हैं फेक सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट के, कि कैसे फेक पोस्ट फेसबुक पे शेयर की जा रही थी जो कि चीफ मिनिस्टर के अगेंस्ट थी, और ये है आपकी बड़ी कंस्पिरेसी. इतना सारा इन्वेस्टिगेशन हमने इस एंगल पे कर दिया, पर एक शब्द नहीं इस इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बारे में कि इस लड़की को क्यों मारा, किसने मारा, क्या हुआ.
तो अब मैं अभी दोनों लोगों को सुन रहा था. मैडम हलीम जिस प्रकार का आरोप लगा रही थी, ये आरोप फेक है. कहीं भी कास्ट की बात नहीं है. सीएम को रिजाइन क्यों करना चाहिए? सीएम ने समय रहते कार्रवाई किया, एसआईटी की जांच की, दोषी गिरफ्तार हुए. पहला एक्यूज 14 तारीख को ही गिरफ्तार हो गया, और बाकी 3 का जिनका नाम बढ़ा उनको बाद में गिरफ्तार किया गया. दूसरी बात, आप 144 की बात करती हो, धारा 144 किसको नहीं जाने दिया गया? हमने एक दिन एसआईटी जांच में नहीं जाने दिया तो मीडिया ने, पूरी दुनिया अपने सर पर उठा ली कि हम क्या छुपाना चाहते हैं. हमने खोल दिया, रिलीज कर दिया. मीडिया भी गई, बीएसपी के चंद्रशेखर रावण भी गए, बीएसपी के लोग भी गए, एसपी के लोग और लोकदल के लोगों ने वहां लड़ाई कर लिया. पुलिस को लाठीचार्ज करना पड़ा, बड़ी भीड़ के लिए गए. और जो स्थानीय लोग हैं वो अपनी बात अगर मीडिया पे कर रहे हैं तो ये ब्लेम करना बिल्कुल ही गलत है कि धारा 144 में वो लोग अपनी बात कैसे कह रहे हैं. हमने किसको नहीं जाने दिया? हमने सबको जाने दिया. हमारे ऊपर आरोप था कि बीजेपी की सरकार के लोग वहां लोगों को जाने नहीं देना चाहते.
नहीं, आपने 48 घंटे की मीडिया को ही नहीं जाने दिया. वो 48 घंटे जब पूरे देश भर में आउटरीच हुआ तब आपने जाने दिया. जी,
देखो
48 घंटे हमारा रिपोर्टर खड़ा था बॉर्डर पे.
मेरा प्रश्न है, 14 तारीख से लेकर 29 तारीख तक कौन मीडिया को मना किया? कौन सा नेता गया? दिल्ली के अंदर लड़की बीमार थी, कौन सा नेता देखने गया? समाजवादी पार्टी गई, कांग्रेस गई. और मैं साफ कहता हूं,
उससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है? जो जब हम गए तब आपने रोका ना. इस कंस्पिरेसी की बात तो आप भी उन 2 हफ्तों में नहीं कर रहे, आप भी तो कंस्पिरेसी की बात अभी कर रहे हैं, तब की कंस्पिरेसी की बात नहीं हो रही ना। अभी 48 घंटे मीडिया को ब्लॉक किया ना।
क्या कांग्रेस आई और पीएफआई दोनों मिली हुई है? ये कंस्पिरेसी का इंतजार कर रहे थे कि लड़की की डेथ होगी और हम पीएफआई के साथ मिलकर उत्तर प्रदेश में दंगा करेंगे, उत्तर प्रदेश के विकास को रोकेंगे। कांग्रेस आई और पीएफआई दोनों में कोई अंतर नहीं है। मुझे कहने में कोई संकोच नहीं है कि कांग्रेस आई और पीएफआई में कोई अंतर नहीं है, और पीएफआई के साथ कांग्रेस आई और प्रियंका वाड्रा का हाथ है। इस षड्यंत्र में कांग्रेस और पीएफआई मिले हुए हैं।
चलिए, अगर आपके प्रोपेगेंडा स्पीच हो गई हो तो मैं कुछ और फैक्ट्स आपको दे देती हूँ। जो आप कह रहे हैं उसकी एक भी आज तक चार्जशीट फाइल नहीं हुई, ना कोई जेल गया। जिस दिन यूपी गवर्नमेंट भेज देगी जेल में मान जाऊंगी, लेकिन ये भी एक सच्चाई है कि जनवरी 2019 इन जनवरी 2019 मिस्टर गौतम मुखर्जी इन झांसी। 1 मिनट मिस्टर समीर सिंह, आई लेट यू स्पीक नाउ, दिस इज माई टर्न। आप पहली बार आए हैं मेरा नाव की डिबेट पे, हम एक दूसरे पे चिल्लाते नहीं, सबकी बात सुनते हैं यहाँ। In 2019 January in Jhansi, 55-year-old was raped for over 3 years. She finally found the opportunity, the courage to go and file a complaint. The FIR was filed 175 days after she approached the police. 175 days. Meanwhile, she had to face the harassment, the threats, the blackmail from her attacker and tormentor who even threatened to leak videos of her and make them go viral online. In June 2019, an SHO pressurized the survivor to dilute the complaint, and repeated running around didn't yield any result. There was no woman police person present at the police station, and hence the justice got delayed. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, can it be denied that the speed with which we have filed 22 FIRs this time and the many FIRs that were filed during CAA protests, the same alacrity is not shown for crime against women?
Well, the first thing I want to say, Tanvi, is that no civilized person, particularly a male, can condone rape and rape as a weapon to oppress people of different castes, of different classes, and so on. But, you know, when I look at it, ever since Nirbhaya, after which I assumed that a rapist is going to face nothing short of death. What happened? What happened? We tightened the law, and what became the process of how to assess it was, look, is this genuine or is this not? Is this motivated or is some woman trying to frame someone? That is how it was approached. Juveniles were let off. In Delhi, the chief minister gave the man money and a sewing machine. The actual chap who killed her with an iron rod. This is what the political class is responsible. The police who work for the political class must, if they want to survive, go along with it. But this is not the behavior of a civilized country. We are far from civilized in this matter. In a country of 1.4 billion people, it is expected that statistically there'll be a lot of rapes. But how the hell do these people get off? This is what I want to know. Not the people who molest or a kind of, you know, mild rape or what you call soft rape. That's one thing. I don't want them hung. There are enough of them. But I don't want them hung. It's wrong and so forth, but that's another story. But this kind of thing, kill, cut out tongues, rape, burn, it is horrendous. And this is what goes on. Now, to answer the other side of your question, why are there so many FIRs and so on? Why is every rape, this is an Oktoberfest of political vulturism. What is going on? Do you equate one rape with another, or do you pick out the one that you want to go to town on? That is so obvious to the general public that I need not go on about it. Yes, UP. What about Rajasthan? What about Kerala? What about Bengal, which is an anarchy, and nobody does anything about it? Nobody even speaks about it. The same media that is going to town on Hathras, is it even-handed? No, this is all devalued because of this selectivism. And that is the thing. Now, for Yogi government to fight back against the Congress and the PFI and so on is only natural. You attack me, I'll fight back. But rape is rape. And this country is downright casual about it at every level. That's what I have to say.
Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, I agree with you on the politics of it and political vulturism, but I would say that, this media bashing isn't fair at all. The reason that this case has become bigger than any other case is because of the handling of the case. Allow me to finish it, please. Allow me to finish this. This case has become what it has and has outraged people across the country because the girl is dead. And nobody wants to talk about who did it and why. Rather than pumping conspiracy theories off the record, this is what the police did for the first 2 weeks. They should have focused on catching the culprits and proving the case. This case became headlines because of the behavior of the UP police, because of the way media was blocked, because of the way the cremation was done, because of the way the media and the country was lied to about the family's consent when they had clearly not agreed to anything to the police. Which is why this is important. Otherwise, we could be sitting here every day, unfortunately, because the number of crimes against women in our country is so high that I could be here every night, 365 days a year, unfortunately, and I will still be talking about it. And if one day I don't, then the question of why not this day and why that day comes. I'm sorry, this case is different for these reasons, for the mismanagement, for the bad handling, for the outrageous handling of the UP police of this case. Saira Shah, you wanted to come in and then I'll go across to Miran Bhovankar. Yes.
So, Tanvi, I'd like to say something to Mr. Mukherjee that this is not the time to indulge or engage in any kind of whataboutery. This was an exceptionally, one second, let me finish. This was.
I'm only laughing.
Let me finish.
Please.
Of course, let me finish. Let me finish. Okay. Now, in a country where a rape happens every 50 minutes, this is an exceptionally macabre rape. Please understand. This girl's spine was broken. Her tongue was slit. You know why? Because this was again to ensure the hegemony of the upper caste over a lower caste. So let's accept that casteism is a very, very major pertinent issue still in India. We need to get rid of such social evils because this was, perpetuated, this crime, to say that, look, we can get away with this kind of a rape and murder with impunity. It was like showing a thumb to the lower caste and say, look, your position is still, where it was, the outlier, where your position is below our feet, the Thakurs will rule, the upper caste will rule. So please understand the intent. Please understand the intent, and let's not become rape apologists and quote rapes in Rajasthan and here and Nirbhaya and all. This is a very, very serious case. And as Tanvi mentioned it, it needs to be iterated again and again. Why this case has made headlines nationally and internationally is because of the mishandling of this case by the UP government, not filing an FIR, in a very shady way at 2:30. Who finishes off last rites and doesn't, allow the media or the scribes to cover this very grisly affair, this grisly event, this grisly, very, very unfortunate event. And you're trying to, launch FIRs against social justice warriors, against opposition leaders, against journalists. You're not letting them do their job. It is shameful. It is very macabre. It is shameful. And I think Mr. Yogi Adityanath, needs to apologize to the girls of Uttar Pradesh and of India and take cognizance of this case with uttermost priority and ensure that the perpetrators are brought to justice.
Yes, yes. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, go ahead and respond to what Saira is saying.
Look, I could have written the script for Saira and, we could have taken it as read. I understand what she's doing, but the selectivism is another name for hypocrisy. What's going on in Bengal, where she comes from, is legion. Now, I am not justifying rape and mishandling of it or dragging one's feet. No. I am very much horrified, and I'm totally against. I want a much tougher way of approaching this whole thing. The only distinction which Ms. Borwankar also hinted at is a kind of a false, entrapment of people, which can easily happen, particularly, in a political context or important people and so on. So that has to be watched against. But, where you've got spines broken, tongues drawn out, rods shoved up, I mean, where is the question? But are we, as in the judiciary, and Mrs. Borwankar would know about it better than I, is the judiciary soft on rape? I think so. I'm an ordinary journalist. I'll say the judiciary is soft on rape. I mean real rape. I mean out and out killing and rape. The politicians. Well,
I would just say that a lot of it, Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, depends on what is the case that the police ends up presenting, what is it that the prosecution ends up presenting.
Our entire legal process,
50 days and 100 days, there isn't much left for the courts to decide on. For example, let's take this case. And Miran Borwankar, maybe you can come on this. Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, I'll come back to you. Let me just come back to this specific case as well. Yes, okay, go ahead. Make your point. Yes, Gautam Mukherjee.
Please understand, and I'm saying this on national television with responsibility, the judiciary is corrupt. The police are corrupt. Pay, and you get your answers the way you want them to be. And everything from anything to anything, a civil matter, a criminal matter, an accident, a rape. So we have a lot to fix. It is nothing works on merits in this country.
Yes.
It's not on merits. To talk of Thakurs and Dalits is the same old story, whichever way you look at it. Please understand that sometimes,
no matter how old it is, Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, I think it still has to be talked about if it's a real issue. All right, Gautam Mukherjee, I get your point. But no matter how old the story is, if it is still happening in 2020, it's still as important as it was 100 years ago or 500 years ago. Now, let me just talk about one specific part. The part that the UP police very clearly believes that there is no rape here in the Hathras case. And they have now repeatedly quoted the forensic report and the medical report to say no evidence of rape has been found. They have also now said this to the Supreme Court in their affidavit. In fact, in the affidavit, the UP government has very clearly stated that the final report has ruled out. The final report says there is no suggestion of rape. Now, what does the final report say, which is also attached right here in the affidavit itself? The final report says that there is no suggestion of anal or vaginal intercourse. Now, I just want to highlight the fact that the charge of rape and gang rape was actually made over 8 days later. It wasn't made earlier. And so the samples were only sent to the forensic lab 11 days after the crime. Miran Borwankar, are we staring at a case where it will become difficult to prove because the samples weren't taken right away in the first 24, 76 hours, but 8 days later?
There are various factors which show that the investigation and prosecution is becoming more and more difficult, not only because of the forensic science report, but also because statements of witnesses, even victims' families, are being recorded, video recorded by media. So what will happen is there will be some contradictions which can damage prosecution, which will be quoted by defense and produced in the court. So I see a difficult journey ahead for investigation and prosecution. But I would also like to tell Mr. Gautam Mukherjee, sir, please don't use the words like soft rape. Rape is a rape. I mean, like, how can you even think of differentiating between different kinds? And prosecution of a rape is as per IPC. What my fear is that 213 Criminal Law Amendment Act has given death penalty. So now the rapist would definitely try not to, will try after the rape to kill the victim. I can see this hardening of caste lines because they are terribly scared that the case can lead to capital punishment. As for cremation and blocking the media, I think it was an extremely unprofessional panic reaction of the state, which has now gone to the extent of registering these 21 FIRs. I would need more women in police. We need more gender sensitization. But I also want to assure the audience that the way Indian police officers are being trained either in Hyderabad or in police academies all over the states, we are trying our level best to sensitize the men and also to induct more women so that we reach up to the 30% level. So the case has a very difficult journey ahead. The success of media is following it to its logical conclusion and not to lose track after a week. And sincerely, I feel that UP Police, having gone through such bad times facing media, public criticism, would try its best now to bring all the evidence together. And now, not only is it UP Police, it's CBI, and maybe court would also agree to monitor. Difficult case, but with the best of the investigation, I hope some justice is done to the victim.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I had a follow-up question for you, Ms. Borvankar. You mentioned, bringing in more women in the police force. Why is it that it's become such a big challenge? On an average, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's about 8.73% of our police force is women. In Uttar Pradesh, it's lower at 7.2%. If we don't have enough women in the police force, it's just going to get more difficult for any woman to come up to the police station to actually file a complaint of a crime against her.
So every year, states are reserving some slots. Ultimate aim is 33% reservation. So the increase is, say, about 1% every year. And why we should have more women? I was watching a video which showed the victim girl on the first day talking to the police officer saying, "Mere se zabardasti hua." So the comfort level of a victim while talking to a woman officer is definitely much higher than talking to an unknown male police officer. Therefore, I am flagging the issue that we need more women in police so that women victims feel comfortable, disclose all the facts, don't use phrases, like Jabardasti hua. Now for prosecution to prove in the court that Jabardasti meant a rape, it becomes difficult. But I have a feeling if there was a woman officer sitting there, this victim girl on the first day itself would have given details, which we are looking for now.
Yes. Yes, and what happens also, Kiruba Munuswamy, is and now perhaps we will never know, because in the first 1 week the angle of rape was never probed. It only came up on the 8th day, and the sample sent on the 11th day. Perhaps all evidence is lost except the girl's statement, which has been recorded in front of the magistrate. But in the initial few days, if correct handling of the case would have happened, perhaps the case would have been different today, Kiruba?
First of all, I think we should stop, discussing whether the offense has happened or not. Media trial cannot be allowed in such a serious case. And secondly, it is for the court to decide whether the medical report proves rape or not. And we see what happened to the body. So in many cases, if the crime is not able to be proved, we ask for second autopsy, or if we don't trust the medical report, we also ask for second autopsy. And why was the UP police, very hurry in burning the body? Because they wanted to destroy all the evidences. And thirdly, though there was no rape complaint on the first day, and it is for different reasons, because somebody was severely injured, and they would not disclose that what happened in that particular moment. But then, like Miran Bhavankar said, if there was a woman police, she would have opened up. But according to law, the women's dying declaration is more than enough for conviction. There is no need for a separate evidence. And I think it is not for us to decide, and if it is not for us to even discuss, it is for the court. The only duty the police has to register the case under IPC and SCST Atrocities Act, arrest the victims, arrest the perpetrators, produce them before the court, and bring them to justice. And the court will decide. The court will conduct all the inquiry, and it will inquire, ask the doctor to give witness, and then the court will come to conclusion. And today in the Supreme Court, the UP government has stated that there was extraordinary circumstances in burning the body. Even if there were extraordinary circumstances, which law authorizes the government or the police to burn the body without the family consent or with the family consent? Because it is a crime evidence. The body is full of evidences. So what I see is full of abuse of law and procedural lapses. And that is what I see in this case entirely.
Okay, no, I understand and I agree with you. This is not about a media trial. You and I cannot decide. Unfortunately, in this case, though, Kiruba, it has been the UP police and the UP government that has repeatedly said there is no evidence of rape, there is no evidence of rape, there is no evidence of rape. Their job is to actually investigate and gather as much evidence as possible. And before they have even done, 2 weeks of investigation, they have jumped to this conclusion and they have reiterated it in every possible manner. Now, unfortunately, that's how the battle is being fought right now. But to the point that you raised, let me go back to Sameer Singh. Sameer Singh, क्या थी ये हालत जहाँ पे इतने रायट्स और वायलेंस हो रहे थे कि रातों रात उसकी बॉडी जला देनी पड़ी बिना फैमिली के? चंद्रशेखर आजाद को तो पुलिस डिटेन कर ही चुकी थी, उनके सपोर्टर्स को भी।
देखो, मैंने पहले भी कहा कि मीडिया ट्रायल और मीडिया कुछ लोगों के द्वारा इस केस को उत्तर प्रदेश की शांति को खराब करने के लिए, उत्तर प्रदेश के विकास को खराब करने के लिए पॉलिटिकल इस्तेमाल किया गया। अभी मैं सुन रहा था कि जीभ काट ली गई। आप बताओ हमको, अगर जीभ काट ली गई तो 22 तारीख को उसने कैसे बयान दिया कि मेरे साथ बलात्कार हुआ और रेप हुआ? मरते समय उसने कैसे बयान दिया कि साहब हमारे साथ फला लोगों ने बलात्कार? किसी की जीभ काट ली जाएगी तो वो बयान दे पाएगा? जिस बयान की बात हो रही है, अगर जीभ नहीं रहेगा तो वो बयान हो सकता है? नहीं हो सकता।
Terrible.
दूसरी चीज मैं कहना चाहता हूं कि परिस्थितियां क्या थी। सरकार ने सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कहा है पीएफआई और कांग्रेस का पैक उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर दंगा करने की बात, और जब आप रेप की बात कर रही हो तो आप राजस्थान की बात नहीं करती। प्रियंका वाड्रा राजस्थान के अंदर एक बार भी ट्वीट नहीं करती कि हो रहा है। राहुल
अरे आप
गांधी
मेरे सवाल का जवाब छोड़ के बाकी सब क्यों बता देते हैं? मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है समीर सिंह। मैं आपको यहाँ पे कांग्रेस पार्टी दिख रही है, आपको यहाँ पे पीएफआई दिख रही है। जिस दिन मैं कांग्रेस और राजस्थान की डिबेट करूंगी तब आप आके बोल देना। मेरा सवाल आपसे बहुत सिंपल है, मुझे ये बताइए, जिस रात को लड़की की बॉडी को सफदरजंग अस्पताल, नहीं आप मेरी बात सुनिए, जिस रात को सफदरजंग अस्पताल से उसकी बॉडी लेके गए, उस दिन कौन सा पीएफआई और कांग्रेसी आदमी वहां पे घूम रहा था? और अगर घूम रहा था तो आप उसको अरेस्ट नहीं कर सकते थे? क्या यूपी पुलिस इतनी यूजलेस है, क्या यूपी पुलिस इतनी नाकाम है कि वो कुछ लोगों को पकड़ के डिटेन नहीं कर सकती? आप मुझे वही रिटोरिक देते जा रहे हैं जो 2 दिन से मैं सुन रही हूँ योगी आदित्यनाथ को। मेरे सवालों का जवाब दीजिए आप। मेरे सवाल सीधा सवाल है, क्या यूपी पुलिस इतनी यूजलेस है कि एक फैमिली को प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दे सकती अपनी लड़की की चिता को आग देने के लिए? क्या यूपी पुलिस इतनी ज्यादा नाकाम है, इतनी ज्यादा यूजलेस है कि वो एक फैमिली को प्रोटेक्शन नहीं दे सकती कि वो अंतिम संस्कार कर दे अपनी लड़की के? आप मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए।
परिवार के लोग साथ थे।
अपना प्रोपेगेंडा दूसरी जगह जाके चलाइए, मेरे सवाल का जवाब दो।
हॉस्पिटल में कौन था? आप थी? कांग्रेस के नेता थे? अलीगढ़ की हॉस्पिटल में उसके परिवार के लोग थे, दिल्ली के हॉस्पिटल में उसके परिवार के लोग थे, लाश को लाते समय उसके परिवार के लोग थे, उनकी परिवार की सहमति से लाश जलाई गई, जीभ काट ली गई। अगर जीभ काट ली गई तो बयान कैसे दिया उसने?
जलाते समय चिता को आग किसने लगाई देखा है आपने? चिता को आग किसने लगाई देखा है आपने? देखा है आपने? वीडियो चल रहा है चैनल पे।
बोलोगे ये नहीं चलेगा, ये नहीं चलेगा चैनलों पर बैठ के झूठ बोलना कि जीभ काट ली गई तो उसने बयान कैसे दिया, नाम कैसे लिया। मेरे पास वीडियो है, मैं उसकी माँ का भी वीडियो दिखा सकता हूँ, उस लड़की का भी वीडियो दिखा सकता हूँ आपको। मैं चैलेंज करता हूँ आपके चैनल को, मैं उसकी लड़की का और उसकी माँ का दोनों का वीडियो दिखा सकता हूँ आपको। तो ये तो अभी दिखा दूं आपको। ये फेक न्यूज दिखाना बंद करिए आप लोग। जीभ काट ली गई, जीभ काट ली गई तो उस बयान कैसे दिया? चैनल पर बैठ के ऐसे लोगों को भ्रम फैला रहे हैं, उनको
ऑलरेडी आपकी पार्टी के आईटी सेल ने लड़की का मुंह बिना ढके वीडियो ट्वीट कर दिया। सेंसिटिविटी तो है नहीं आपकी पार्टी में। अब मेरी बात सुनिए,
आप
ये एस्टैब्लिश हो चुका है कि लड़की के टंग पे जो कट था, आप चिल्लाना बंद कीजिए और मेरी बात सुनिए। आपको शायद पता नहीं है मेरा नाम पे डिबेट्स कैसे होती हैं, पहले ये सुन लीजिए मेरी बात। यहाँ पे एक दूसरों की बात सुनी जाती है, चिल्लाया नहीं जाता है। अब आप सुनिए मेरी बात, ये एस्टैब्लिश हो चुका है। अगर सायरा शाह हलीम को नहीं पता है तो मैं ये रिपीट कर देती हूँ। हर टंग वॉज नॉट चॉप्ड ऑफ और स्लिट, her tongue was cut because of the way she was attacked, assaulted and strangulated. It's a well established fact, Mr. Sameer Singh, that when you are strangled in such a manner and attacked in such a manner, it is quite possible that your tongue comes between your teeth and it gets cut. Now that being clarified, answer my question. Is the UP police so useless that they couldn't control a simple crowd when they have the strength to pick up Chandrasekhar Azad and his supporters and take them away and detain them? Why could they not provide the family of the victim 4 more hours of protection and let them have a fair funeral? Again आप चिल्ला रहे हैं, आपको सुनने की आदत नहीं है। दूसरे चैनलों पे चलता होगा आपका बोलबाला, यहाँ नहीं चलेगा। सुनने की आदत डालिए। सिंपल सा सवाल है मेरा, 4 घंटे नहीं रख सकती थी पुलिस सिक्योरिटी के साथ?
मत लगाओ, हम बोलबाला चलाने नहीं आए, हम बोलबाला चलाने नहीं आए, लेकिन झूठे आरोप मत लगाओ ना।
बलरामपुर की बात करिए, बलरामपुर की हाथरस के इंसिडेंट के बाद बलरामपुर में भी एक दलित महिला का,
केरल की भी बात करना चाहते हैं, हम राजस्थान की भी बात करना चाहते हैं।
अभी फिलहाल उत्तर प्रदेश के बारे में डिबेट हो रहा है। उत्तर प्रदेश के हालात देखिए
आप पश्चिम बंगाल पर नहीं बोलती हो।
अभी उत्तर प्रदेश हाथरस की बात हो रही है।
It's pathetic. It's unfortunate. It's pathetic. I am going to thank my panelists, but one thing that has been proven here, viewers, is that for our politicians, and I will not care about which party, across party lines, politicians don't care about who's dead. Politicians don't care about who's been brutalized. Politicians don't care whose body is burnt overnight in absence of their family. instead of giving them the right for a final funeral. They don't care. They only care about their petty politics and their own narratives. They care about using the police force in an efficient manner when it works for them. They don't care in using the police in an efficient manner when it works for you. They don't. When it becomes crime against a woman, when it's about a crime against the common man, be ready to run around. When suddenly it looks like a conspiracy against the chief minister or the government, then the entire police force will be woken up. And a nationwide, a statewide crackdown will take place, an international one perhaps. But when it comes to a woman, be prepared to run around to police station 50 days, 100 days, 180 days, trying to prove that you are right, that you have merit in your charge, that you have been brutalized, that you have been attacked, that you have been wronged. Fight as you can, nobody else will do it for you. All that you can expect from politicians is simple whataboutery. Thank you for joining us in this conversation.